today we're going to talk about some stuff that we missed. And that's going to be, most importantly, the most recent news as well, is banlist time. It's banlist time for Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel. Finally, it's about time. Of course, everyone expected this to happen after the Duelist Cup. And we're going to go over this real quick. We're going to go over what this will change with the format, because I do think the format needs some changing. The Duelist Cup has once again proven to me that I do not like Tenpai Snake Eye format that much. It was a better experience than last time when it was basically only Tenpai. But still, there's a lot of things I want fixing in this format. So let's see if this ban list does that for me this time around. We have Per Lily going from 2 to 3. This is completely justified. I got no issues with this. I think some people are going to be very happy about that. And I don't think anyone can argue that Pearly deserves some love on these ban lists. So okay, there we go. Sangan Kaimin from 2 to 1 is their chosen Tenpai hit, which I can get behind. I think Sangan Kaimin going from 2 to 1 is massive. It is, in my opinion, one of the most frustrating cards to play against when you're going up against Tenpai. Similar to Sangan Summoning, because the Sangan spells are just what makes Tenpai so hard to interact with. You know, if your opponent has Sangan Kaimin or Sangan Summoning, a lot of your interactions are just completely invalidated, like cards like Effect Veiler or whatever. Everything that's main phase related in the slightest, you cannot use against those cards. It is also the most important extender in the deck. Now, I hate to say it, but I'm not sure if this is even gonna be enough to solve the Tenpai problem. I hope it is, and I'm not entirely sure if it's I'm not gonna say it's not enough because I don't know, but I feel like only because these hits worked in TCG and OCG, I feel like it's not that comparable to Master Duel, especially in Tenpais. Like when it comes to Tenpai, because best of one is such a huge difference when it comes to Yu-Gi-Oh! And Tenpai is I think Tenpai is by far the deck that benefits the most off of best of one. So I think that's why, even before this ban list, when Kaimin was at 2, Tenpai was still way more popular in Master Duel than it is in the TCG or OCG. So I think Sangan Kaimin going to 1 is obviously a good change. We'll see if it's enough. I hope it's enough. But you also have to consider that Tenpai gets a Dominus Impulse tomorrow, which is another thing that was announced over the last couple of days. The new pack coming out tomorrow will have the Dominus card. So that's another little bit of a boost to Tenpai. So we'll have to wait and see. Either way, it's good that they are aware that Tenpai is still a problem and they keep hitting it. And if this is not enough, I hope we'll see more. Is all I can say at this point in time. Then we have something, I don't know why we're doing this, but Block Dragon is back for no freaking reason. I guess it's limited in the OCG and it's not doing much there. So the only thing I can say with Block Dragon is at the moment, I don't know how much of a problem it's going to be. I personally stand on, when it comes to these kind of cards, Block Dragon to me feels very comparable to a card like Metal Foes, Heavy Metal Foes Electromite or something like that, right? Where even if they're legal, they won't see high competitive meta play, I don't think, right now. I don't think any Block Dragon deck is going to just become a meta threat in Master Duel because of this. However, they can still make for some very, very annoying and toxic gameplay. I think the best example of this, if you've been following my Duelist Cup run over the last weekend, I played into a Pendulum deck maybe 2 or 3 times over the course of the weekend. And whenever I lost the coin flip to it, it was literally the worst experience. The Pendulum decks, and to that extent also Adamancipator, Block Dragon piles, whatever, are just not very fun to play against. So in my opinion, even if they're not top meta, they can still be annoying and a problem. But from just a raw power level perspective, I can't really argue with bringing Block Dragon back. It's just that I don't like it because I don't enjoy playing against those decks. Is kind of the only argument I have for this one. Like, I don't like playing against Block Dragon combo decks, so I'm not a fan of this change. Power level wise, I don't think it's going to be an issue. And then we have one more, which on the one hand is what everyone agreed that this needed to happen. Of course, there is some Burning Abyss enjoyers that are sad about it, which is understandable, but still, everyone agrees that this needed to happen. And still, I'm happy to see it, because you never know. You know, you never know if they were actually going to do it, but they did, which is good, of course. They did it in the TCG, they did it in the OCG, and now Master Duel follows suit. Beatrice, Lady of the Eternal, is banned. And this is obviously massive. Absolutely freaking massive. And on the one hand, I want to say that this is the full changes, by the way. On the one hand, I have seen people say this is not enough, which I think is understandable. I think that's an understandable way to look at it. At like with where the power level right now is in Master Duel, there are some people who are afraid that this is just not changing enough, which I think is fair. On the other hand, I do want to point out that the Beatrice ban is very, very massive. This is like having this counts as hitting multiple cards at once, essentially, because this is not only a hit to, I mean, Burning Abyss, but like it's mainly a hit to a lot of engines that are just using Beatrice to get into other engines. Like, for example, Snake Eyes. As much as I wanted to see a Snake Eye hit on here, I did want to see a Snake Eye hit. I am kind of annoyed by the fact that they haven't hit a Snake Eye card directly on this list. This still hits Snake Eyes. Like, the amount of time I've spent like 45 hours last weekend playing Snake Eyes. The amount of times I had to summon Beatrice to get into my combo is absurd. The ability to turn Millennium cards into Snake Eye Engine, the ability to turn Fiendsmith cards into Snake Eye Engine, it cannot be understated. Like, that is massive. The same is true for White Forest. White Forest also, a lot of the times, started its place through the Fiendsmith engine. So Snake Eyes does absolutely lose consistency from Beatrice being banned, and that is a big deal. And I will say, this is something that I want to have a separate discussion with you guys in a second after we're done looking at this one. But like, this falls very much in line with their philosophy in the OCG of creating ban lists, because you guys are saying like we need Snake Eye hits directly. However, the way the OCG has handled Snake Eye is very much the same as here, because in the OCG they also did not ban a Snake Eye card. They did not ban Flamberge. They did not ban Original Sinful Spoils. They did a bunch of limits that we also have in Master Duel, but for the most part, the Snake Eye combos, in theory, on paper, are still possible in the OCG. Yet, they've just made the deck so inconsistent that it doesn't see competitive play anymore. And that is just the approach that they've taken in the OCG, which is something I want to discuss in a moment. But that is apparently what they're trying to do with Master Duel right now. And Beatrice getting taken away from Snake Eye is a massive consistency hit. Because we can take a look. Why don't we take a look at Herman's? I think Herman posted his Snake Eye list that he was using to win the Duelist Cup. Yeah, there it is. If we look at this list, right? Millennium Snake Eyes, 43 cards, and the amount of ways to the Snake Eye engine that involve Beatrice in this deck is quite absurd. Like, Millennium cards, which is a total of 5 copies here. 5 Millennium cards get you to the Snake Eye engine via Beatrice. The Fiendsmith engine, which is a total of, I guess if you want to include Lurian Track, that'd be 4 cards. That with 1 extra body will get you into Snake Eye via Beatrice is 4 more cards. And then the Unicorn the Cash Tira cards are in part, I think, also in here because they give you easier access to Fiendsmith, which can access you Snake Eyes. So like this is a total of let's say 9 or 10 cards in this deck that are in here because Beatrice makes it easier to access Snake Eye cards that way. Of course, these cards offer you more than just Beatrice. Like these cards offer you, like, you can make Appaloosa, you can make Photon Lord with the Millennium cards, you can make Caesar, which is not even in this deck at the moment with Fiendsmith, but all those things, like the quality of these cards goes down if you don't have the option anymore to make Beatrice with it, because that was always that is one of the most crazy things about Fiendsmith and these other engines that get you to Fiendsmith, is the fact that it can either be Snake Eye combo or it can be protection for your Snake Eye combo. Which now, if Beatrice isn't gone and isn't here anymore, you cannot use Millennium to access Snake Eye anymore. If you don't open your Dia Bellstar, your Snake Eye Ash, your Bonfire kind of cards, you won't have the Snake Eye engine that way, you know? The thing is, there are replacements for these cards that will still get you into Snake Eyes, which most notably the Azamina engine, right? The Azamina engine is probably going to be played again in Snake Eyes, and to be honest, that deck is still 100% a threat and 100% really, really good. I don't know if the Millennium engine is now bad. I wouldn't necessarily say that it's bad, the Millennium engine now, but the deck does lose some it does definitely lose a lot of flexibility from those cards because they can no longer be considered a starter, right? Like a Millennium card is no longer a Snake Eye starter because Beatrice is banned, which is good. That's a good thing. Will this be enough to solve the Fiendsmith combo pile format? I absolutely don't think so. Like I said, I think Millennium is still a Snake Eye starter. Unicorn is not. Okay, are you saying Millennium is a Snake Eye starter because you can make Zombie Vampire and hit Dia Bellstar or a Snake Eye card in a pinch? Which I guess is true. Technically, statistically, it will be a Snake Eye starter a decent amount of the time. Sure. It is likely, yeah. The question is, will people play it and rely on it, or would they just go Azamina instead, or will they do both? All those kind of things, right? There's ways around it, but like guaranteed starter for the Snake Eyes, I know. But yes, the Zombie Vampire is still a powerful card. Either way, but that also means that you can't really make you can't play Photon Lord, which means that they get weaker as a way to insulate your other combos and stuff like that. But I don't think it's arguable whether Beatrice is a good hit or not. Of course, it had to go. Of course, it makes the decks weaker because they all played Beatrice for very good reason. It will not kill those decks, is the thing that I'm worried about. It does not kill Snake Eyes. It does not kill White Forest at all. They have replacements. They have very powerful replacements too. Like, that's another thing that I want to point out. The power level in Master Duel is so incredibly high that these lists do not even feel inclined to play the Azamina engine, which the Azamina engine is incredibly powerful. That's a good engine, you know? Like, the fact that this deck can just be like have the luxury of just saying like, yeah, this Azamina package that's like a starter and an Omni Negate, I won't play it. I have other options. Is crazy. That is insane, right? That is a crazy ability for a deck to just be like, yeah, I won't play those cards. Like there's so many decks out there that would love to have an engine as strong as the Azamina engine. And this deck just is so powerful that it has the luxury to just decline it, to just say like, I don't need it, which is crazy. So this overall is all changes that, I mean, besides Block Dragon, but like Beatrice and Kaiman are absolutely valid hits and things that needed to happen and are very good. I still don't think it's enough. I don't personally think this is enough to make the format like good. Rather than just slightly better. But yeah. That's how I feel.